Forkast.News is your gateway to all things blockchain. We do the deep dive and the due diligence on the blockchain projects and platforms that matter, because we aim to be the most reliable source of intellectual discourse and insight that inform, educate, and bridge the gap between the blockchain industry and the mainstream. Welcome to this special edition at the OECD Global Blockchain Policy Forum right here in Paris. I'm Forkast.News Editor-in-Chief Angie Lau. Well, consider this the incubator for policymakers alongside blockchain startup entrepreneurs all the way to thought leaders. Michael Amar is one of those thought leaders right here in Paris. You help lead the Chain Accelerator. This is a blockchain hub. You're stationed at Station F. You're also co-host of the Paris Blockchain Week conference, and you are also a serial entrepreneur in this space. So I want to talk to you about how things kicked off today with Bruno Le Maire's remarks. The Minister of Finance here in France kicked things off, but was very, very assertive when it came to Facebook Libra. He said this. He said that the monetary sovereignty of states is under threat as he regards some of these new digital assets like Libra. How did that come off for somebody like you in this space here in France, and certainly at the summit today?
So I think I understand that this could make the news, but perhaps it's also just the way that the French negotiate things that you have to consider, right? So if I think what was exactly said, that under these conditions, he doesn't want Libra to be active in Europe, something along the lines. These conditions is what we need to focus on. So what conditions are we talking about? Is Libra going to be a sovereign currency? I don't think it's going to be the case. It's not what they want. Is it going to be a bank? I don't think at all they want to be a bank. Basically, what they're doing in applying with the FINMA yesterday, the Swiss authorities, is more to be a payment company. Right, like PayPal and others, and I understand that it can be this world of blockchain crypto is extremely complex. It touches social, it touches economics, there's politics topics. I understand that it needs more in-depth discussions and also to try to appease the situation by listening to both sides. But we're into a revolution that won't stop, right? People try to stop the internet, right? People try to stop mobile or other things. It can't stop. I mean, Binance will launch its currencies, the Chinese will launch their currencies. It's going to happen. But now we need to define the rules that makes everybody, happy and make sure that, things like KYC, AML, CFT is taken into account. I think that's actually the most important question for the government, I guess, are we doing it by the book and in total transparency?
Does that help you as an industry? Does that help you as an entrepreneur who is also supporting blockchain startups here in France?
I mean, in France and globally, think about it, it was unnoticed a couple of years ago, this industry, basically, right? Yeah. And now it's on the news everywhere, and it's on the Senate, and there are hearings. And one day, because all what is happening now, we're going to have a breakthrough, and today we have 20 million wallets, I guess, or so, of people owning cryptocurrencies, and perhaps tomorrow with Facebook and others like Binance, there could be 200 million or even more, and that will make the industry, right? It's still very confidential. There's a lot of, hypotheses around it and drama around it, but we're into revolution, and we need things like that to put the top topics, on the table.
All right, you talk about revolution. That is something that policymakers are the least interested in, but they do have to engage in policy conversations with the industry. Are they doing that?
Yes, and I think some are seeing that the new technologies will allow them to get better KYC and AML. There will be more traceability going on by using the blockchain. So actually they also see the benefit for them. It's actually easier to track cryptocurrencies than cash today. So a lot of them just want to make sure that there's no bad intent or ill intent in this project. There's the topics of privacy and again the KYC AML, but there are a lot of regulations are coming in France with the Pact law that was announced last April that is actually in the right direction to allow token sales and to be able to transform this industry that hasn't been changed for many, many years.
France is in a race with everybody else here. Lithuania, Estonia, Switzerland, China, Singapore, Hong Kong. Where do you regard France in this race?
So we cannot work as a silo. We cannot be France. We have to be in an international, landing pad for projects. We have unique abilities here. We have actually a pretty unique legislation, more unique than most largest countries. We have talent. I mean, crypto engineers in France is one of the top 5 companies where we have the most talent in this space. And we have also investors, entrepreneurs. That makes, we are a bigger country than some of the ones you've mentioned, and sometimes more innovative than others. So actually, there is, with the oversight in the US, with regulation in the US not really established, now we have a clear law in France, we can benefit from it. But we can attract a US project and we can help other projects to expand. So it's not, I don't think it's against France against the rest of the world or against Germany or the UK. But we have a role to play and we can be one of the chains in the whole game.
And so then how do you assess Bruno Le Maire's remarks this morning? Were they supportive?
He says, we cannot let you go and act without understanding what you do and oversight and making sure you do things properly and not put in danger our currency and the sovereignty. And I think this is understood and heard by Facebook and Libra, and I think they will come forward and saying what are they putting in place to give comfort on those things like KYC/AML, CFT, and others. That's what I think. So basically, it's a way of negotiating and putting the hard things. I always say no first, and then it opens discussion, right? Kind of thing.
And that's what makes being here so dynamic and to watch this unfold and really shape the industry. Michael, thank you for your insights.
Thank you so much.